one thing that shouldn't be up for debate is the punishment for one racist teen in Illinois. Take a look at this, and I found this so sad. A white 14-year-old is accused of posting a picture of his black classmate on Craigslist with the caption, look at this, slave for sale. The situation outraged many people, including this black parent. Listen to what she had to say.
I believe they should start talking about the real issues, how it's important that we not keep having these same situations, because in 2019, we're still dealing with this, and that's absolutely unacceptable.
Unacceptable indeed. The victim's mother says her son was taunted by other classmates. She says students teased him by saying things like, "I'll buy you for $1." The suspect is facing charges, including 2 counts of hate crimes and 1 count of disorderly conduct. But here's the kicker. He only received a 2-day suspension from school. So to me, this is bullying. It's a hate crime and actually attempted human trafficking, frankly. So Mike, how do you feel about how the school handled this?
Wow, I didn't know that was coming to me right now. I was ready. I was in the story. I feel that, right? I feel that they should have just expelled the dude. Like, I remember going to school and kids were just getting expelled for much less. Right. You selling slaves, nigga, now you gotta go. You have to school. What are we, 2 days? No. 2 days? Are you fucking kidding me? I can curse, right?
Yes, please.
Sorry. I mean, are you fucking, what are we doing? 2 days? 2 days? No, kick him out the school. He doesn't need to be here anymore. Like, what are we doing? Like, that should be, if the roles were reversed and it was a black dude who put up a picture of, let's say, a woman or a white man or something and said some derogatory thing for sale, he'd be out. He'd probably be in prison. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense to say, okay, for 2 days you can chill out. Nah, get the fuck out of school.
But the interesting thing is that Gen Z is known as the most racially diverse and tolerant generation. Why are we seeing such an uptick in racist incidents among our youth?
Well, this kid is 14 years old. So my question is, what's going on in the household? Because this doesn't just pop out of, anywhere, out of thin air. So yeah, the generation overall perhaps might be more liberal and woke and so, but their parents aren't necessarily. We don't know what kind of conversations they're having at home. And let's face it, the whole country isn't that liberal and that, woke. There are areas where people are not that way, clearly, as we're seeing. So, yeah, the kids should have been expelled, but I think the hate crime thing, if that goes through, is a big lesson. 2 days is not enough, and quite frankly, it's just disgusting. Like, this is really old. Like, people have to find a way to move on. But yeah, it's bullying, and it's completely unacceptable.
Absolutely. But let's talk about Craigslist, though. I mean, this posting was there for days before it was taken down, and still no statement from Craigslist.
I will say, the only good thing that came out of Naperville, Illinois is that Candace Parker. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. No, but you do see this, I think platforms online that are accessible and free to the public need to be monitored more closely. We see this problematic situation with Facebook as well. As far as Naperville, Illinois in itself, it's been facing a lot of backlash between Buffalo Wild Wings, and now we have this incident. And it is regional, where they just are in the Midwest, and you see it enabled by the Trump administration. Like, you just see this whole white power trip thing going on, and white people aren't being properly punished. So why not do it? 2-day suspension, he gets a vacation. That's a vacation. Right. You won't really understand what you're doing until you're properly punished. And there are no consequences for this. It's going to keep happening. You know that you have that privilege, and we need to go beyond this and punish them beyond this, because what are we teaching our kids? Because if the worlds were switched, what's going to happen?
It would be a different story.
It would be a completely different story.
Well, I know from my years of reporting that Craigslist can be like the wild, wild west for trafficking. I think the platform definitely needs to clean up its act. And personally, I have hope that the most diverse generation of young people can be the most racially tolerant as well.